Well, as you can probably guess, one, from the fact that you're seeing me, and two, from the fact of my attire, is that I'm going to be talking about something related to Star Trek. Welcome back to Roll and Review, where we talk about all things nerdy and awesome. I'm Peter, and today we're going to talk about a game that's been out for a little while, but something that I thought that we could review in light of a recent update. And if you've already guessed, the answer is yes. It's Star Trek Bridge Crew. So Star Trek Bridge Crew is a great little game where you take roles on the bridge of a starship and you work together as a team to try to complete missions. You have the role of captain, helmsman, engineering, and tactical. They change some of the names depending on which ship you're on, but generally those are the roles. You have a basic campaign mode where you complete a training mission, then you go on to do several more missions where you do with a story, but you do the basic things that the game does, which is search for information, rescue people, or, the typical, let's fly around, blow crap up. So this game is a lot of fun if you have friends. And thankfully, I have people who do want to play with me sometimes. And so we've played a bit of this, and it is quite entertaining. So for the different positions, a little bit of an overview. The Helm Officer does exactly what you would think the Helm Officer does. He flies the ship, sets impulse trajectories, warp trajectories, and generally tries not to hit things. That's kind of the job description. Tactical does exactly what Tactical does. They scan things, they shoot things, and they raise and lower shields. And they shoot things some more. Depending on which ship you're running, you can sometimes operate the transporters or a electronic warfare suite where you can mess with the other ships. That's only present on the Aegis, the Kelvinverse ship, not the Enterprise D or the original Enterprise. Engineering, or operations if you're playing the Next Generation DLC, basically what they do is they regulate how much power is going to different systems, so either to shields, engines, or weapons, and you get to make sure that you have enough power if you need to go to warp, if you need to go to impulse, if you need more power to shields so they last longer, more power to phasers so they go farther, you get to do that. You also get to do repair crews, where you repair different systems as they get damaged. You can't repair the hull, so whatever damage you take is permanent, but you can repair your subsystems. In the Aegis and the original Enterprise, you can do a little bit of power rerouting, where you can add a little bit of a boost to a subsystem by diverting part of one from another to give it a little bit more of a boost instead of just dropping the power directly. In Next Generation, you have different crews that you can send to different parts of the ships that will repair those sections and also give you a little bit of a bonus depending on which section of the ship you send them to. In the game, you have the option of 3 ships. You have the Aegis, which is the Kelvinverse ship. You have the original Enterprise from the 1966 Star Trek, and you have the Enterprise D from the Next Generation. I enjoy flying all of these. I know that Alex and Jim do not like flying the original Enterprise, but that's because none of the buttons are labeled. It's a bit of a nightmare. I find it entertaining, but no one else does. There is a little bit of customization. You can modify your character to an extent, but not much. If you get the Next Generation DLC, you have the added race of android in addition to Vulcan and human. The missions can basically be broken down into a few categories. One is search and rescue, so you find a ship, you fly around till you find it, you rescue all the people involved, and you shoot any bad guys that show up to prevent you from doing that. You have a scanning mission where you fly around and scan things to find new information, and you shoot things that try to stop you. You have a pursue mission where you go after a criminal who has escaped a starship. You have to find him, and then you have to take him back into custody. And of course, you shoot bad guys that try to stop you. Then there's shoot bad guys mission. You fly around and you shoot bad guys. That's pretty much all you do. There's a few other missions where they kind of mush these all together and you do them all at the same time. That generally came with the Next Generation DLC. They do have a Kobayashi Maru scenario, which, as the name suggests, is impossible. You can try to beam as many people off the ship as you want, destroy as many bad guys as you want. You're still not going to win. So, we've played it, we've died, we've played it, and we've not died, but we've never completed it. Because you can't. That's part of the definition of Kobayashi Maru. The Next Generation DLC also introduced a new mode, which was Borg Resistance, where you had to collect 3 different prototypes in order to defend yourself against the Borg, because as you know, the Borg are relentless and they do not stop and they adapt to everything. So you fly around and you disable the Borg, and then you fly to the next spot and you try to get a device that will help you defeat them. Unfortunately, there is a bug in this mission where you get to a point where you need to beam over a piece of equipment, and if you have a human player, the transporter does not work. The official workaround is have your friend drop, have the computer complete the transport, and then have your friend jump back in the game. Yeah, not the best workaround. So hopefully they have a fix for that. But it's been that way since the DLC came out, and yeah, not the best. However, the rest of the game is fun. Another thing that this game does have is it has a VR function. I have played the VR function. It is very entertaining to sit and look around the ship as you're doing your mission. The one downside, I would say, is sometimes using the buttons with just the controls limits you to how quickly you can respond, especially in the Helm Officer position. I find it a lot easier to simply fly the ship using my keyboard because I can react faster. But that's more of a preference thing than a, oh, look, the VR version is worse. No, it's a lot. The game was designed for VR. It's fun in VR. But if you don't have VR, it works just as well without it. And you can get some really hilarious things going in the lobby if you don't use VR. Will I show you what that is? No. Because I don't feel like recording that. Because that would require that I get my friends on in the middle of the day to record that. But use your imagination. It would be nice if this game got a few more updates to give you a few more ships or scenarios, but the fact that they did just have an update which added that pursuit mode where you're chasing a criminal, it does give me some hope that they might do a few more updates in the future to give us some new things. This game is a lot of fun if you have friends. There's a few bugs still, but it's a lot of fun. It doesn't have a lot of variety, so you kind of give it a little bit of a rest periodically so that it doesn't get old, and then you pick it back up and play several missions and have a lot of fun again. So if you have a chance to get this game, do. It's a lot of fun, especially if you enjoy Star Trek and you like collaborative games where you have to work all together on a team. Also, the missions are pretty short, so it's not a huge time commitment to spend with your friends. You're not like picking up Divinity 2 and playing for hours and hours and hours on the same campaign before you complete, which is fun. But this allows you to do something a little bit shorter. That's all I've got for today. Live long and prosper. Yes, if you have already guessed, that game is Star Trek Bridge Crew. Over here.